I don't know where to start from, but after 70 games, Premier League games for Virgil van Dijk at the Anfield, finally, the Anfield breaks down and Liverpool succumb to Leeds United.
Well, every record is meant to be shattered, and for me, I think we've created demigods out of, forgive me to say, nobodies.
Why would you say that?
Because, I mean, you see, 3-4 seasons ago, the kind of standards people hailed Van Dijk and the kind of position they let him occupy, I think it was so undeserving.
Before we go into the game, you think he doesn't deserve the standards that people
No. I think when all is said and done, when Van Dijk's career is over, when you mention the grades, yes, he'll be probably featured in the top 10, top 12, but
Premier League defenders of
yes, all time.
Van Dijk could be the top 10 all-time defenders.
I think he could be in the top 12. I mean,
all-time defenders.
Yes, I mean,
they've been superstars.
No, but I mean, the point was simple, that people have said that Van Dijk is about people have dared compared him to John Terry, people have dared compared him to Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, Ricardo Carvalho, all of these greats who have graced the game and have won a lot of things. I am very, very happy this record is over. I'm not just happy for people who have followed this particular podcast. If you go back to our very first series, our Premier series, we made that point that Liverpool need to take a cursory look at their defense.
At the defense.
And if there was anything that was going to bite them this season, it had to be their defense. I mean, for me, I am surprised that the prophecy has been fulfilled at this material time.
Let's roll back and look at the game. This is what I think. And Jurgen Klopp has been doing something which is a bit out of the normal. Jurgen Klopp, we know all throughout his career at Liverpool, always sets up in a 4-3-3 flat formation where the pressing begins from the front three, then the middle, then the midfielders, then they set up usually press blocks of two. But if you watch in the last 2-3 games, the Champions League games
against Rangers,
yes, against Ajax, recently
against City,
and even today, Liverpool are becoming a bit unorthodox by going for a 4-4-2 diamond, and today was evident. Fabinho sitting at the base of the diamond with Elliott and Thiago Silva with the front men of Nunes and Salah. I feel that if you set up that way, especially when you are not used to it, I can understand why he sets up that way, because he wants to accommodate the presence of Darwin Nunes, because you cannot buy somebody for
100 million euros. That's 100 million euros.
80 million pounds, and not pick up a tactic or a formation that will suit him. But what it does to the team is that usually Liverpool have always been lucky or blessed with having fullbacks who are so attacking minded and are very good going forward. When you play that way, you limit the role of the fullbacks, and it's the wingers in either Thiago Silva, because he was not playing centrally, he had to play out wide, or Harvey Elliott, and we saw the deficiencies in Harvey Elliott having to play out wide on the right. And for Fabinho is somebody who for a while now has been very poor. Today he was so poor that I don't know if you saw, he had some disagreement with Jurgen Klopp in the game. He has been very poor. You don't play him as that guy who holds the defense. The defense you've talked about, Claire. So I felt that tactically, Liverpool shape was wrong, and the way Leeds United pressed them from the onset was awesome. It made them even commit those blunders and all of that. I don't know what you think about the setup of Liverpool.
Well, I think I also took notice of the 4-4-2 diamond thing you talked about. I think that until the injury to Jota,
exactly,
he was experimenting that particular transition with Jota being the number 10.
True.
And for me, I think that retrospectively, we all agree that Liverpool didn't do the right business in summer. I mean, Darwin Nunes was always going to be somebody who came in and destabilized the system. I said that because, see, all the times that Liverpool have been prolific, the front three, the famed front three of Firmino, Salah, Mane, you realize that these were guys who understood the spaces up front.
That's true.
But once you throw in the Darwin Núñez conundrum, Darwin Núñez is somebody who is not really blessed mentally. You understand? And so you realize that in the Liverpool team now, he's almost finding himself clashing for spaces with Salah.
Because the Liverpool team loves to operate in spaces.
Exactly. So if you have somebody like that who comes into that ecosystem and wants to destabilize the ecosystem, obviously it will take some time, some bit of time before you probably get the chemistry right. But you see, in a dangerous league like the EPL, you are not going to be. Everybody's not going. Exactly, everybody's not going to be there. No. And so I think that it's become a conundrum around the neck of Jurgen Klopp. Like he said, I have a €100 million striker sitting on the bench. Do I play him? Do I drop him? Because that's solid investment. You understand? And everybody, we all know the drama surrounding his capture. But I think that it would be very unfair to just criticize just Darwin Núñez. I've said that the elements. Liverpool are one of those teams that in the last few years have been lucky to have spines which work. In goalkeeping, they had a spine in Alisson. In defense, they've always had the spine of Van Dijk. They have solid guys in Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. Whoever partners Van Dijk, whether Matip or Joe Gomez.
We should also acknowledge the fact that the absence of Matip has destabilized the Liverpool defense, because he's not blessed. He's not a very skillful defender. He's not blessed. He's not your typical rugged defender. But his ability to read the
spaces,
game, read spaces,
and then do all of the dirty work.
His partnership with Van Dijk has been solid. And so when he goes out, either the two of Gomez or Kanute, whenever they pair Van Dijk, you could see the difference and the disparity. The level drops a bit. And we need to also acknowledge that.
Yes, Matip has been a silent, solid addition to the Liverpool team. You talked about the midfield. For so long a time, we've lived in an era where we've seen Fabinho dominate games together with Henderson being out. But Fabinho is not the same player he used to be. And I dare say that Salah is not even the same player he used to be. Now I think that the onus lies on Jurgen Klopp to find some way of motivating these players. Listen, I won't sit here and tell you that the players at Liverpool are not world class. These are world class players, you understand? But you need to find a way of letting them get the joy back. You need to find a way of getting them the confidence, and that's one of the biggest. I will be surprised if Liverpool finish in the top four. At the rates of competition in the EPL now, I would honestly be surprised if they finish. Yeah, I would be surprised if they finish.
Before we check out, I agree with you on the motivation, because last season, in the first 10 games, Mane was off, and I remember Jurgen Klopp granted an interview where he spoke about he had time with him, showed him videos of his previous excellent performances, and literally worked on his psyche and all of that, and reflected in, we saw it, the latter part of the season was practically Liverpool's best player. I think he needs to go back and do that. Then in January, I'm proposing that he goes straight into the market, get a dependable, defensive midfielder who could slot in easily and, dethrone the likes of Henderson and Fabinho. Then hopefully they can keep Matip, very fit. Let's not talk about Liverpool because they played with Leeds United. I think Jesse Marsh was spot on with his tactics. They pressed Liverpool and they were very resilient. I looked at the numbers and Leeds United ran 11 kilometers more than Liverpool at Anfield. It tells you the work rate they put into
those boys should be going for a lot of jogging in the morning. I mean, if you were Eric Ten Hag, they will be going for jogging in the morning, because the least of the standards you require from a top team and with top players like Liverpool is that you need to work hard. You need to work hard. I mean, we've sat here and spoken glaringly about teams like City and the things they've done.
Off the ball and on the
I'm telling you, you cannot. That's criminal. If you allow Leeds to come to Anfield and outrun you, that's criminal.
If Jurgen Klopp fails to lead this Liverpool side to a top 4 finish, do you think it's time at that?
He needs to be fired. If Liverpool were a club with any standards, Klopp would have been fired by now. Look, if Liverpool were Chelsea, Klopp would have been fired.
I'm sure he would have been fired.
He would have been fired.
Guys, I don't know about you, but should the unthinkable, in terms of Liverpool fans, should the unthinkable happen and they fail to make the top 4? Like Kofi said, looking at the trajectory of the Premier League, there's Newcastle who are pushing for the top 4. There's still Chelsea. There's even United who Pep Guardiola has said that he's seen the leaps and bounds that the team has made. If it happens that the competition for the top 4 is so intense that Liverpool drops out, do you think it's time Jurgen Klopp bids farewell to this Liverpool side? I think, it will be too much of a hasty decision.
I think he needs to be fired.
He should be fired if they don't make the top 4. What do you think? This is Sports 101. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Very important. Like our videos. Engage with us in the comment section. Let's get to know what went wrong today for Liverpool. Let's keep the conversation going.